Hello everybody, it's Tommy and welcome to a tour video for the Disney Save. Today, we're going to be taking a look at my brand new castle. This is Snow White's castle and it is huge. I know I say that with pretty much every video that we do of these giant castles, but it feels like every one I make, it's just getting larger than the last one, truly. I have a lot to show today. It did take up the full 4 levels and then it also has 1 basement level. So we're gonna have a dungeon, there are multiple bedrooms, a lot of the bathrooms were not shown in the speed build. There are some little nook rooms as well. These ones that are in the towers are always a little bit more difficult to show off when it comes to doing the speed build. Like those are the type of things that I tend to cut. So we're gonna go over the whole castle today. I hope you guys enjoy. Definitely check out the speed build first if you happen to have missed that, and there will be a create a sim video for the evil queen and some of the castle staff and henchmen that are going to be living here shortly after this video goes up, so stay tuned for that as well. And I don't know how that ended up outside. Always fun. Without further ado, let's get into the tour. I am going to just take a real quick moment to take a peek over here to the courtyard, which I think that in the video, in the speed build, was sort of skipped. A lot of the landscaping I had to cut because it was honestly just a lot of like repetitive plants and the same sort of vines and things. So after you do a little bit of it and I show that off, I tend to just like cut the footage. But this is going to be like the wishing well scene. This is the scene where the prince jumps over the wall and goes and sings the song at the wishing well with Snow White. And then she actually like runs away and scurries up into a tower. And that tower is here facing over the courtyard itself. Her bedroom is the one located down here on the bottom side of the tower. So we'll be going in there a little bit later when we actually do like the interior tour. She has a special window. It's like very pretty, very intricate. It could open up onto the courtyard if we had like more functional windows in the Sims. And this is really like the only major outdoor space in terms of the castle. It can be accessed, as you can see, through the back side of the castle here. This is the entrance over here to the evil queen side of the castle. So there is a set of stairs that wraps around just so that she and her back side of the castle has access to the courtyard as well as snow from the front end of the castle. And I should mention, actually, just in case this is the first video that you saw and you didn't watch the speed build. Basically, this front portion here is Snow White's section of the castle, castle staff, and then just like general public's area. If people were being brought into the castle for entertainment or there were guests or whatever it may be, this is the side of the castle that they would stay on. And then the evil queen has essentially taken over this back section of the castle. You can see that there is a separation here. And the reason being, I'm able to do 2 different heights. See how tall this is back here if you actually break it off, but they are connected via 1 set of stairs here. So this might not be how it like always was for Snow and her family, but now this is most definitely like how the evil queen structures it so that she can have a whole section, a whole wing of the castle and be undisturbed, do magic, do whatever. And Snow probably doesn't really go over there very much, or anybody really, because nobody wants to deal with the evil queen. So I thought that it was important to have a way for the evil queen to come down to the courtyard and Snow to come down to the courtyard, just in case. Not that you would probably see the evil queen out here like frolicking by the well necessarily. And then I just thought for fun, we have this beautiful new swing set from Enchanted by Nature, I believe, and it's so thematically perfect. This is not in reference to anything regarding the actual movie. I just thought that it fit really well and aesthetically it looks good. And I'm always trying to give little things that the characters can actually do on the lots. So it fits. I could picture like Snow coming around the wall and like trying to find something to do in the garden or tending to the plants. And she has her swing set hidden over there that she can enjoy. Now we are actually going to take a look inside the castle. I am doing a quick pan around, but as you can see, there really is not much to say in terms of any exterior gardens. I wanted it to be a little bit more subtle. I feel like we've already got a lot going on with some of the plants coming up the side of the castle and the rocks and everything. So it just didn't need more. Like I could have fully filled this out and done more courtyard areas and things like that, but it's just truly not needed. And it looks more beautiful this way, in my opinion, especially considering how much we have going on with the interior. So I'm going to go ahead, get down to this level. We'll will do the first person POV. You will notice that all over the castle there are knights. I, in my headcanon, think that these are like real guardsmen and they are actively protecting the castle. So I put them where I felt like it was appropriate, it made sense, kind of in doorways, walkways, stationed around walls in particular ways where you wanted them to have like full visibility. And let's go ahead, if I can get down to the level, and we will take a look. So through this gated entrance, you will see that I have chosen for the castle banner and the castle logo a peafowl that is brought in from the evil queen herself. There is some references of peacocks in the throne room and around her specifically. So I felt like it was a really cool like idea to drag that in basically and make the castle have its own banner as something that's like kind of recognizable. I actually don't like this angle, so hold on one second. All right, that's a little bit better. This is the throne room. This is, in my head, some people from the village that they tend to, like their kingdom, might come in here for grievances, might want to speak to the evil queen, especially the former queen. Like, I can't really see this happening too much with the evil queen that we have currently, but if a kingdom was like functioning in some sort of a diplomatic capacity, then there might be a system in place where the townsfolk can come and speak about problems and ask for help from the higher ups. And so I wanted the throne room to be like essentially towards the front of the castle so that guests that are coming in from the kingdom were stuck to basically like the front end of the castle essentially. And this throne room is a recreation from the film, and also I'll mention it a few times in the video. I have a special book called the Disney Castle Collection book, and it showcases extra additional artwork and details that you don't really get to see in the films from the Disney princess castles. So some of the rooms are featured and highlighted in the book for each castle, and for Snow White, the throne room was one that they showed kind of a zoomed in image on with some details. That is why I made sure to include like the triple drapery here from the circus kit and some of the colors and tones that I went with in here. You'll notice the castle is very light and airy, and it definitely is maybe not what you would originally, I guess, think, considering that it is owned by a Disney villain, but it's also Snow White's castle and like her family's castle formerly. So you could argue in the sense that it is based off of the old king and queen's taste to an extent. Now, through this little doorway here, I wanted to put in a bathroom. It is a full-size bathroom. I'm going to go down a little bit actually, because again, I thought to myself, if guests are coming in and they're coming into like the throne room, you probably need to have a bathroom somewhat immediately accessible so that they don't need to go anywhere if they needed to use the bathroom. Now, granted, a castle this old, would there even be an interior bathroom like this? Definitely not like to this standard with the beautiful like modern-ish day bathtub and over here like modern plumbing. But we do what we can with The Sims. This is what we have, and I have to include bathrooms for functionality. It doesn't really matter that the castle is supposed to be so old that it probably doesn't have plumbing, because my modern day Sims that play in it are going to need plumbing. So there is bathroom number 1. I will go off to the left side here through this door. This is the kitchen, and you might think that it's a little bit odd to have the kitchen connected to the throne room, but I promise you the layout of this is actually like really smooth, and this is one of the bigger side towers where you might want a little bit more space for something like a kitchen. And it's a huge kitchen. It's actively being something is actively being baked, one of the new kits and things that adds the little kitchen clutter. It's tough with those kits because it's like half of the stuff is too modern for me to use for a build like this, and then the other half is absolutely perfect, like the little like in the midst of baking cookies and stuff. It's really, really good. But again, in my Disney Castle Collection book, the kitchen is actually featured as a very prominent room, so I got to see it was basically like from right here was where the image was. So this entire thing is a recreation, and that's really cool because you don't get to see the Snow White castle kitchen, mind you. And here is the other side with the stove. I did do like the open archway here because I feel like the smoke and the cooking and stuff, you want to be able to like get it out. And I don't know, like I don't claim to know all of the technological understandings of this time period, but I'm like, maybe they just needed the better airflow in the kitchen. Over this way, there is 2 towers that are sort of connected on this side. One of them is a pantry stock full with herbs, fruit and vegetables, grains, cookies, These are bath salts, but to me, I'm like, they could be anything. Anything that comes in a jar like that, I'm like, it's game for the kitchen, possibly. And flour, fresh stuff around, and then one more tower through here. This is very tight in here. I'm gonna have to play test this. It probably doesn't work as it sits right now, but I'll get it to work eventually. I thought of this as I like to do like a staff kitchen, because you need a place for your staff members to sit and enjoy a meal or go on break, but you could never ever have them in the main dining room. Like, that would be kind of inappropriate. And I don't think that there's a way to necessarily program that for the game, but I just put it in there so that if you are really control heavy like me, or you're somebody who turns autonomy off like I tend to, then you can really dictate like where people are sitting and that sort of a thing. And then there is an additional bathroom in here. I thought again of like a staff bathroom that is available like through the kitchen in areas that the Evil Queen definitely doesn't go. Like, you would never see her in here cooking, but you probably would never even see Snow in here. I guess it depends on what the Evil Queen actually makes her do nowadays. She maybe didn't used to cook, but probably does now. So through the other double door on this side, you will get to an exterior walkway just for a moment. There is a guard on post before we get to Snow White's princess bedroom. Now, the way that I did this is Snow's room that she should have had or did previously. So this is her room that her parents made for her. This is the room that the crowned princess of the castle is supposed to stay in, but she is not allowed to stay in here because the Evil Queen doesn't allow it. So it's not her actual bedroom according to like where I'm going to put her when the story begins. You certainly can. And you could also like make it the goal to like move her here if you wanted to. I just wanted her to have like a nicer space available in the castle that really fit her vibe, her color palette, and was more royal looking, but also give her the tower bedroom so that she could start at the very, very beginning of her story. And she's got everything she needs in here. Beautiful fireplace, a little dining table she can sit and have her morning tea, her vanity to get ready, the absolutely huge double bed. It is really bright and nice in here, greenery, fresh fruits growing right in her bedroom. Really beautiful, like one of my favorite rooms in the castle. And the castle staff tends to the room. They take care of it for her. That's why it's not old and filled with cobwebs and all nasty, because she, even though she can't stay in there, it's being looked after. Now behind the throne, you'll get to a little walkway in here where we've got a couple again of guardsmen that are making sure nobody gets past this point in the castle, because this is really like the front end. And I guess my only issue, my only small issue is that like having the princess bedroom like right off of the throne room at the front end of the castle might be deemed like unsafe, but it was the way that it worked out with the floor plan. It's not all that serious. Back through here, little hallway that will take you off to a couple of different points of the castle, again working with the peafowl insignia and the banners and things. That's kind of like the castle emblem and icon. If you go to the left here, this is the dining room. And it's also a mini gallery. I wanted to feature some artwork in here. I am going to go ahead and replace some of this artwork with things from the gallery that I find, so don't get too attached to anything in here necessarily. This is just what we had at the time, and I was like not updating my game, so I didn't have access to like those additional gallery photos that you can find. And this is also a space where you could have some guests in here if you wanted to. Like, this is more of the formal dining room for the castle. Now, Snow's bedroom, her tower bedroom, is actually located off of the dining room. There is a little corridor in here where somebody is guarding for the princess. And then this is her downstairs tower bedroom. Still really pretty, but obviously a closet in comparison to what we had going on before. And it's okay, right? It's dark in here. There is not much going on. The essentials, couple little perfume bottles and things that she has managed to scrounge up, and the single bed. And as you can see, it's got a little latch on it. With the window, you could open it up onto the courtyard. She does have a good view, if not anything else. You can go through this door here and it will lead you to those stairs out onto the courtyard, like I mentioned earlier. And then this door over here actually just brings you through to the dining room so that you don't have to go like through the hallway of Snow White's bedroom in order to get here or to go up the stairs, which we will go to later. So back to the other side of the castle. Oh, and by the way, this photo frame that is blank, this comes with life and death, and it auto generates a picture of the household. So I'm going to see if I could try to get like a good one, but it's a little modern looking to possibly keep in here. I just put it in there as a placeholder, but I did think that that would make sense to have like some pictures, not pictures, but paintings of the family. Off to the right-hand side, this is the entertainment room. This is a very multi-purpose room. You could set this up for a lot of different things. I have it currently set up with this platform stage here and the seating so that you can like sit and enjoy with the pipe organ. So someone could come and perform on the pipe organ. You could move this and put a microphone there so someone can come and tell jokes and sing. You could do any array of instruments or, you know, really whatever you wanted to. I also put over here a painting, and I thought that this little apothecary like bottle set from Enchanted by Nature could also double as a time period appropriate, somewhat like painting set. It looked like it could fit the vibe. So you could come in here and watch somebody live paint. I also wanted to do like a platform seating area up to the back. So there is a more cozy little pillow area. If the queen ever came in here or somebody really, really high up ever came in here, they would need something a little bit more formal in terms of seating, like a throne. So I did add this in here as more seating, and then there's some optional instruments that you could switch out for the pipe organ or just have somebody stand on like the front part of the platform here if you wanted to. And then it wouldn't be entertainment without drinks. So even though I can't fit like a full-size bar in here or even like a partial size bar, you can do this one, which has the ability to serve certain drinks. There is a little bit more space if we go off this way. Access to, well, there should be stairs there, but as you can see, the game has decided to take those from me, so I'm gonna have to add them back in. But this is an access point to the upstairs, which is the staff quarters, and you can get there from both sides of the castle, but the stairs are gone, but that's okay. And then it tucked off into these two towers is a very small library and seating room that is just sort of like slightly removed from the entertainment space, but still a little bit more focused in the public side of the castle. I really love this room. I think it turned out great. This was one of the ideas from the Castle Collection book, not my own creation, but it was just, it makes a lot of sense to include something in the castle that is a little bit more music based. And they specifically had the pipe organ. I think that I probably would have chosen a piano, but they had the pipe organ in the imagery. So it was sort of like, it's a recreation, and that's really cool because these are parts of the castle that you don't get to see. And I do want to just mention, because I was like, oh, the stairs are gone. They're not gone. I'm just like confused about my layout here. If you go around the hallway, this is the other set of stairs that's going to lead you upstairs to the staff quarters. So there's just an additional like walkway through here. I was looking at it like so confused, and I'll actually show you guys the overhead layout of this front part of the castle before we move on to the upstairs. As you can see, kind of throne room right here in the front end, and then dining room, entertainment space, and these are the double stairs off the back side of the castle that are going to lead you up to that second floor. And Snow White's princess bedroom over here, really spacious, but also like a little cluttery in that like, I think the greenery, it's the greenery that adds something. It makes it look more lived in and alive. And I can really picture this castle being something that has just been used for generations and generations. And it's also a very active, real participating like kingdom versus, I guess, Horn King's castle, which is another castle that I did kind of recently. They are not like an actively commanding kingdom in the same way. They don't have like the fully functioning running kingdom household. Does that make sense? I think that's the point I'm trying to get across. So we will go ahead and jump to the upstairs and take a look at the staff quarters. Now, if you come up the stairs, you'll see that from either side of the castle, this is the stairway from the entertainment section. This is the stairway from the dining space or the outdoor courtyard. You have this beautiful long hallway that I always love an opportunity to add into castles like this, because I feel like doing really long, gracious hallways that are so spacious as well and have little like clutter details like the banners and the lighting. This is what makes something feel very big and royal and important. Now there's 4 doors here. They are pretty much all bedrooms. We'll start from the left. This is cutie patootie little bedroom over here. I think this is going to be the bedroom of the major domo. And the only reason I say that is because books, studying, I don't know, like I feel like major domos read. They are multilingual. They are a little bit more busy, might need a desk, might need the space. And they're of significance and like importance in terms of castle staff themselves. They also have a painting easel. I just feel like their major domos are maybe cultured, like refined in a sense. And they have their own bathroom, which would be such a luxury. So this has to be somebody like very important and high ranking to like have your own bathroom off of your bedroom. Unheard of. Even the princess downstairs, like her princess bedroom doesn't even have that. It could have been an office and you could like repurpose it that way. But whenever I make castles of this size, I always think to myself, you need to have so many bathrooms because you don't want to have to run across like a huge 64 by 64 lot to like use a bathroom when you're playing with The Sims. Next room, very similar, also a double bed, very spacious, but not a lot of detail in terms of clutter or intricacies, not decorations, no paintings, no anything like that. This is also a staff bedroom, probably again, somebody of importance. I believe I'm going to put the head maid in this room. Next one over, staff bedroom, but this is one that is shared. There are 3 bedrooms in here. It's bunking. It is probably a group of something. And so I think I'm going to put the castle knights in here. I could see them all kind of cohabiting and living together. And these rooms are very simple, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time in here, but you can see the color palette that I'm clearly sticking to. And everybody drinks tea. Everybody loves tea. So we've got tea galore all over all of the different rooms. There might be an entertainer in the castle staff, and I might have him live here too, because I think that's like one of the only additional bedrooms that's available. And then we have a space for them to sit, lounge in front of a fireplace, a seating room, a living room, whatever you would like to call it, a staff space that is sectioned off specifically for them. Now, the reason that this ended up being the staff quarters is because it has direct access to the outside. I thought that doing some kind of seating out here on this little courtyard balcony that overlooks the courtyard would be good for the king and queen. Like I can imagine these 2 seats for the king and queen. You've got some guardsmen here so that they can sit and enjoy their garden. So this might be for them, which is why it's like kind of open and accessible immediately off of the stairwell. Even though this is considered the staff section of the castle, it's very easy to like get the king and queen up in here. But if you actually go through this way and up these stairs out here, you're going to get outside. And outside, first of all, there's this huge courtyard here. You could do a lot with this. I could picture, I didn't want to put anything here because my problem is it'll look too cluttered. And then when I take screenshots and it doesn't look accurate, but you could put a dance floor here and do parties up here, get staff parties or guest parties, whatever you wanted to do. You could do a piano out here. You could do a buffet table. This is a very nice outdoor space to potentially do an outdoor gathering of some kind. There are also in these towers some additional staff spaces. This is gonna be hard to see. So another bathroom over here. This is like one of the general bathrooms that would be for all of the characters that are living over there. So yes, it's inconvenient. You got to walk outside of the bathroom, but you are a staff member. So it happens. Little seating area. Maybe you could warm up. The guards are out here already. You can see. So if it's a cold, chilly night, they might come in here on their break and warm up. This is still a place where you could look out over the kingdom, watch the walls, keep a guard. And then if we go down just a little bit, there's like a set of stairs here that lead you down to the other towers. I believe this is another seating room, but I tucked a one of these drinking bars from Vintage Glamour, I believe it is, so that the castle staff can have a little good time. One more additional bedroom tucked in this tower. I thought of this as like maybe some of the castle guardsmen would need it for resting. Maybe they could use it if they needed to hold someone captive, maybe somebody who's in trouble, locking someone in a tower type of situation being the theme. Or if you expand the household or you play with it, I try to add in these like additional small bedrooms so that you can have the space to grow inside of the household or playability sort of things. And also just thinking about a castle, you want to have like a lot of additional spaces like that are just bedrooms, even if they're unused, even if there's no character really attached to them. So here is the POV of top down of this staff space, Major Domo's bedroom with his attached bathroom over here. This is going to be, I believe, the head maid's bedroom, the knight's quarters, the sitting room, the courtyard lookout, and then the access to the outdoor towers and walkways for the guardsmen. If we head back downstairs, this is the hallway off of the front part of the castle here. Remember this room that had the peafowl statue in the center? This back door is where you're going to access the second part of the castle and get to the evil queen's side through this set of stairs. I did just want to show like kind of where you go up, and then the stairway leading to this other door over here. There are some guards tucked in. They should be sitting this way, but I'll fix that. Every time I do a tour video, there's always like little goofy things like that I catch, but that's a good thing because then I can like fix it before the final build goes out. And we will jump in to her side of the castle. We enter into the magic mirror room. And this is also her little heart box, or some sort of like a recreation of it that I did. She is going to be a spellcaster in the Disney save. It would have been great to been able to make both forms of her because she can transform into like the old hag version of the evil queen. So if spellcasters had two forms, I would have definitely done that, but they just don't, unfortunately. So I am stuck with making her just look like the one version. But I wanted to have like lots of references, and actually the artwork that is from my castle collection book showed that this is also the room where she keeps this box. So there it is, her big mirror that she talks to the magic mirror with on this little platform up here. And we've got a couple of areas off of the mirror room, one over here just for sitting. Sitting rooms are important. They feel a little bit boring and I think lazy in like a certain aspect, but you have to have it. It's like the castle equivalent of a living room without the TV. There needs to be a place to sit in front of the fire and ignore the floating. It's just because it's not rendering in the bottom part of the statues. They are there. You need to have a place where Sims can go ahead and just chat and sit and relax, especially for like this given time period. I'm actually going to go off to the left here. Now, if you go all the way back down this hallway, next to the guard, this is where you're going to get that access to the courtyard. If you go down this set of stairs here and around, that's going to lead you outside to that courtyard that I showed you earlier. If you go this way through this larger double door, this is the main gallery for the castle. The evil queen is obsessed with goodies and treasures, and she had basically everything that was of importance or of value moved to her side of the castle. So this gallery, even if it wasn't here before, she wanted all the paintings here, and she wanted the things that are of value here. Now, something that I had a thought about is that there might be some kind of a memorial for her former husband just to keep up appearances. Like, I don't think she actually really cared about the man, but would have somewhere in the castle that is in honor of her husband. The other castle staff would sort of like expect that in some way. And so I thought maybe I will put something here that is supposed to be like a memorial placeholder for the former king. And I will see what I can do in terms of adding some photos or videos, not videos, paintings. It's always paintings because of the time period, even if I say photos, to that area that is kind of in tribute to him. If we go the other way through this smaller door on this side here, this is the evil queen's spellcaster library. Much, much larger library space and very magically decked out. You can see up on the top there the beautiful tarot card referenced drawings and paintings. I loved those. And I loved them in here for her. There's some clutter and stuff up there. Actually, I'll see if I can get a little higher. There's some clutter and things up here on the shelves that would be for a spellcaster. Through this room over here, she has access to one of these tarot books. There are multiple things you can do with this as far as I've seen in terms of life and death stuff. And it's a little bit magically based, even though it's not like specifically a spellcaster item. It's a book and it's tarot and it's in the library. Does that make sense? There was one more little nook over here. So I thought I would go ahead and add in, I don't think it's pulling in fully. Yeah. Just another little space that has this scrying bowl, magically leaning items, something that's kind of relevant to the evilness of it all, the evil queen, and a little bit more private. And she's got a cupboard in here that has some additional little potions items, bottles. So we have all of that. I do not believe there is anything else to show on this floor, so I'll just give an overhead view where we do have the magic mirror space, the gallery over here, her sitting room. And there was a sitting room that was like specifically shown sort of on this side of the castle in this tower, which I believe is one of the reasons why I ultimately picked it. And then this is the side that has her library, one of my favorite parts of the castle, with the two towers, one for scrying and then one that is for the tarot book. Now behind the mirror platform is a set of stairs. This is going to take you downstairs to the dungeon. So she has the access to the dungeon from her side of the castle, but there's also a set of stairs over here, and this is going to take you to her floor of the castle, her potions room, and her bedroom. So we will go upstairs first. And here we have it. There's a lot going on here. So bear with me because there's a lot, but up the set of stairs over here around this beautiful arch. I love doing like architecture staples when it comes to castles because I have the space to be able to do stuff like this. This is just like really pretty. And I put the little additional scrying area right in front of it so that it's not like dead space. There's lots and lots of clutter in here, but it's purposeful clutter in like most sense. There is a cauldron where she can mix her potions. She's going to be somewhat of like a prolific potions and apothecary leaning spellcaster. She has some apples already ready to go up on the little platform here that she's probably prepping for who knows what. This is like a live added objects food clutter thing, and I believe eventually it will go rotten or smell or cause displeasure amongst your sims, so just delete it. It's there for now as like a placeholder or a starting point. And she also has a little bench, a little, what would you call it? A desk. Couldn't come up with the word. She has a desk, obviously. I think it makes sense. I put some clutter from the Crystal Creations pack on there. She probably is into jewels and those sorts of things. The two trees over here are apple trees. Makes sense. I think she'd be like lightly into gardening and herbology and just things that are leaning in the direction of like magical gardening for ingredients for her potions. There are lots of little stands around the potions area that have all sorts of occult items and ingredients and pre-done potions so that you don't have to make any of them, but you can obviously if you want to. Maybe they are placeholder ingredients. There's lots of stuff here. There's flowers, there's books, this cursed book. I think it comes from werewolves or vampires or something like that. And lots of books for reference, could be spell books. Great opportunity to use not just the apothecary table from Enchanted by Nature, but also these beautiful, I guess, sort of vanities from the spellcaster pack that have all of the little ingredients and things already ready to go and some flowers and stuff. And you will see that next to her chair over here, there is an archway. So this is a sort of treasury, but it's a magical treasury. And in it, I decided that it would be really fun to do different occult urns because I thought it would be like essence of each occult and they could be ingredients for her potions, very morbidly. So we have the fairy urn, the mermaid urn. That one is the vampire's urn. I don't think I put a werewolf's urn in here, but there is one on the table over here. So maybe it's more actively being used. And I thought it was a cool way to like display some of these items that I probably in other areas of the Disney save won't be able to put out very frequently, but use it here in a way that makes sense for potions making, even though it's a little bit yucky. Now she has a bathroom of her own. Obviously she needed one on this floor. It is same furniture items as the other bathrooms, but a little bit darker of a color palette, clearly. Then through her door over here next to the apple trees, this is her master bedroom. Beautiful, very like queen, royal, princess bedroom. Love the arch over the bed. Got to see if that's functional, by the way. I will get it to work because it's just too beautiful not to have. Fireplace, beautiful couch, seating area, vanity, all of it. A lot of similar items yet again from Snow's bedroom, but it is more catered towards the color palette of the book because this is probably not like what I would have chosen specifically for the Evil Queen. And if you think about her and you look at this room and you're like, well, it's too bright in here, there's too many light colors. This is what the book showed for her bedroom. And I think that it could possibly just be like the royal chambers. Like this is the king and queen's bedroom or the queen's bedroom or the king's, because a lot of times they were separated and it just didn't get changed for whatever reason, or she added some things in here or she liked it. I don't know. This is what the book showed. So I'm going to stick with it because technically it's canon. And that's actually it for this floor. I'll show you the overhead, treasury, potions room, bedroom. Now the towers on this side, some of them do extend a little bit higher. I cut the floor out just so that they have like that grand height and it's really pretty when you look up. But there is also in this one an additional space. You could make something work here if you wanted to. You could like delete this and add a ladder. I'm not doing all that. I think it looks funky. So it's a space that you could use. You could put some clutter in here, use it as like an attic. I just figured, you know, enough's enough at a certain point. Like I need to worry about people's computers running my builds. So we can leave little spaces like that unattended. Now, the downstairs has the small dungeon. What I was trying to describe in the speed build is that basically one of the reasons that the dungeon is so small, since this is on such a high platform, if you try to build a underground room like right here for a tile that comes out, I'll put the tiles on so you can see. See how the square comes out here? See the square? If you try to build out past the line of the foundation wall down here, it pulls the terrain all the way up to the height that you tried to build at. So it would pull all of this terrain, all this landscaping I did, it would suck it all up and like pull the terrain up to this wall here. Doesn't look very good. So what I had to do is keep the dungeon small and less than the size of the room above it. See how it fits perfectly inside of this room? And that's why we get a small dungeon, but it's okay. It's not really like the focus of this castle, in my opinion. You have to have a central area where the guardsmen are actually congregating. Got 2 knights on duty here, some sitting areas for them if they wanted to be more casual about it. And then there are 2 dungeon rooms available. This one is an actual like functioning, I guess, bedroom that you could lock somebody into with a bed. And then this one over here is probably more what you would think, but it doesn't have the bed. So Sims would obviously like, well, now you can sleep on the floor with Enchanted by Nature. So maybe I don't have to add beds to the dungeon rooms anymore, but I added both just for flavor, just for a bit of fun. Why not? That way we still have the dungeon, but it's not anywhere near as expansive as Horned Kings. And it does simplify the castle a little bit because we got a lot going on here. You know what I'm saying? And that is going to be it for Snow White's castle. I hope you guys enjoyed today's tour video. Again, check out the speed build if you missed that, so you can see lots more details, lots more little chatting about the things that I decided to do with the castle. Stay tuned very, very soon for the cast, the creative sim that's going to go along with this. It'll include the Evil Queen, some updates to Snow White. It'll be really great to finally get an iconic Disney villain into the Disney save. And I have so much more to show off in this neighborhood. We're going to be adding back in Snow White's cottage, or I guess it would be the 7 Dwarfs cottage. I will be doing a garden or re-adding in one of my old Snow White gardens. And then there is one more secret build to come that I think is going over here. So stay tuned for all that good Snow White stuff. Let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comment section. And if you would like to support the Disney Save on Patreon, you can do so by clicking the link in my description box down below or the one at the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will talk to you all in the next one.